You can join by phone on WebEx at 617-315-0704. We are being broadcast by BCAT on Comcast 99, RCN 15, and Verizon 41, and on the BCAT government Facebook page. So if you are a member of the public online and are looking to speak, please raise your hand and we will send you a request to unmute at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Moving on to public participation. Is there anyone in the audience or online who is here to speak on an item that is not currently on our agenda? Seeing no one.
The Government Review Committee will be meeting on next Monday, November 10th at 6:30, and that will be a hybrid meeting with people in person in the Town Hall Annex basement, and you can also access that meeting via WebEx. Next Tuesday is Veterans Day, November 11th. Town Hall will be closed in observance, and there will be a Town Veteran Day ceremony at 10 a.m. on the Veterans section of the Town Common, and that will be held rain or shine. The Public Arts Committee will be meeting Wednesday, November 12th at 8 a.m., and that's via WebEx. And then there's a special town election for BHS funding. Election day itself is Saturday, November 15th, and voting hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Burlington High School. Early voting started today. It is going through November 14th, and that's during town hall working hours, and you can do that in this room right here. We can see off camera that there's a lot of voting materials in the back of the room here.
Great, thank you. We don't have any legal notices, no non-approvals. Moving on to administrative matters.
So, Madam Chair, I am going to present with David from MEPC on the Mall Road Mobility Plan. And so, if you will indulge me, I'm going to present.
You'll share your screen?
Yes, I can share the screen. Yep. And so, this is a project.
Liz, if you can probably just pull the mic closer to you. Please, thank you.
Okay. So, let's see.
And for the record, if you would introduce yourself, please.
Sure, I'm David Lausenheiser with the Metropolitan Area Planning Council.
Thank you. I was going to butcher your last name, and I didn't want to do that to you.
Let me do it first, no problem.
So when this decides to react to what I'm asking it to do, we can start. There we go. So this is an effort that started kind of after the mixed district and kind of the mall area and the Nordblom project and MBTA communities kind of are bringing about a little bit more development in this area. And so it's important for the town to be thinking about, you know, we always hear about traffic issues and problems there. So thinking about traffic, but also thinking about other forms of transportation and finding ways to make those forms comfortable and safe and appealing to people, and also kind of how we should build out our mobility network in the future. And so this is an aspirational plan with some kind of guidance of action items. We have been working on this for 6 months.
Oh, a year.
A year, yeah. I mean, because January we did the mix and then kind of brought this in as a way to think about the mall area holistically. And so with that introduction, there you go.
Thank you, Liz, and it was a great opportunity to work with Liz and Caleb and others in the town staff, so thank you for that and the opportunity to work on this plan. And as Liz mentioned, you know, our focus is looking at ways as this redevelops or changes or more development occurs that we'd be able to create a better place for getting around the mall area and as it densifies in some way, shape, or form. With the next slide. So I'll go through this hopefully fairly quickly, and then we can open up to questions.
Yeah.
So, so some of the purpose and needs of the plan are, you know, improving connections, obviously, ensuring that all developments are, you know, conform or that this plan interacts with the new developments as it happens. I understand there's been some rezoning in the area in this district, and so this would help as those developments come in, that we have a plan for infrastructure throughout the mall area. And really our overall goal is that you park once and be able to move around without driving as much as possible. So if you work in the hospital, you can go walk to the mall, and there's a nice path to do that, or a nice facility to do that that's not there currently, so.
Next.
Yeah, go for it. And then, so sort of a broad overview of the district, or the area that we're focusing on is the area around the mall, Leahy Hospital, the district, the area around Wegmans, some of the Nordblum developments, and a little bit south of Route 3, but mostly it's north of Route 3, Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike. Yeah. So I'll sort of break it down. First, I would go over sort of the walk, bike, roll parts of the plan, and this map shows in solid lines the existing trail network that we have, and in dashed lines the proposed trail network. That proposed trail could be a wider path for walking and biking, or it could just be more of a walking path, but it would be a mix of that. And the goal here is to connect the district with a series of high-quality walking and cycling paths that are separate from the roadway and provide a way for people to go for a walk at lunch, or be able to, go get lunch at the mall and come back to the hospital, or to cross Middlesex Turnpike. So it looks at not only a path network within this district, but also getting around and crossing some of the major barriers, which are the highways. So on the next slide, I'll talk about, with this greenway or path network, some of the proposals that we have for crossings. Interesting. This
This
is,
is out of order than your usual.
no, it's not out of order. It's actually in the wrong location on the slide. That's interesting. Anyway, so
Sorry.
I will try to, the dots did not render correctly. So we have 5 different crossings that we're focused on envisioning as part of the plan, and these crossings are improved networks for trails that would cross cross the Route 3 and 95 particularly. And one is at the intersection of Middlesex Turnpike, which would be sort of our first priority, which is at that location here under the highway. The second location is just east of there, which is at that location, which could be a potential underpass. A third location is opposite the mall on Middlesex Turnpike. And there, between the movie theater and the mall, there could be potential of new bridge crossing there. And the fourth would be up, connecting up to the landlocked forest. And I'll not talk about that in the next slide. So, here we go. Okay. This is the map of the proposed crossings. The fifth one I just wanted to mention is between Leahy Hospital and the mall and some of the area, and the district, I'm sorry. There is an elevation difference and a river there. The rerouted Vinebrook goes in that location, and it would be the sort of the green space for that area, and to build a bridge that would cross from the hospital down to the district. And then connecting trails from the district to the mall, and the bridge over Middlesex Turnpike over to the area around Wegmans and all the development there. And then finally, in D would be a bridge over Route 3 to connect the whole landlocked forest. So I jokingly call it the unlocked bridge, but we'll see. So that's the vision for, as development occurs in this area, that we could better connect the area with these trail connections. And then a cross-section, this is a cross-section of Middlesex Turnpike, a proposal that we've put together. Middlesex Turnpike on the left, this is the existing condition for Middlesex Turnpike, and we're looking on the right to actually maybe add street trees in the median where there are not turn lanes, and then on the southbound side of the turnpike, adding a shared use path. It would be a wide 10-foot path that would be a place for people to walk and bike in that area. And the full length of Middlesex Turnpike from that proposed bridge down across or under 95, and then that trail corridor would connect to eventually to the Vinebrook Greenway, which connects to the Minuteman Bikeway. This is a map of the parks and open space in the region, so we're not only connecting the businesses, but with these new connections, we would have better connect Mary Cummings Park, and as I mentioned, the landlocked forest, and then activating the Vinebrook area, which is now really more of a buffer, but maybe that can be part of a park space as well. And also the meadow north of there, that the buffers between this area where we are now and the neighborhoods, that could also be boardwalks in that area as well. So stitching together these parks and open spaces that are disconnected at the moment. This is a map of the current transit service. We have the Lex Express coming in from the south and the MBTA routes there. And certainly strengthening that and creating, better bus stops and transit hubs where people can board the buses and advocating for increased service in that area. Certainly considering, the people have asked about shuttles and other alternatives are looking at, expanding Lex Express and the town contributing to that. I understand there was a shuttle service a few years back that was canceled, so, looking at, as this develop, maybe it's premature now to expand service, but as the area redevelops and there's more density and more walkability, that would really promote transit use in this area. And then next steps, be working with property owners. We sort of identified as a first priority or high priority, particularly with support from some of the developers, is to look at start developing that shared use path as new properties are developed along Middlesex Turnpike. So as properties come on or developments come on, that we, as part of that, try to add that path network as part of that. And working on a new multimodal standard, traffic study of the turnpike from Route 128 to Lowell Street, that's south of, that, as you all know, that section with Market Basket and H-Mart and so forth, those properties, it's a challenging area, so looking at ways to consolidate intersections in a way that's more walkable. There are a few sidewalks, but also better traffic control there. And then the Greenway, priority for the Greenway connecting between Leahy and the mall as well, which would be a bridge crossing down to that area. And just some images. So I think with that, I'll say thank you and open up to discussion and questions from you all.
Yeah. So I just want to give a little bit more background on kind of what we did. So we called on MAPC to bring in their transportation experts. So Travis and David came in, and what we did is we went to key areas, so we ground truthed. So basically, we went out and we took walks in these areas to kind of really get a sense of the area, what could be improved, what are the barriers. So that's how this kind of plan came to be. So we walked around behind Market Basket, because apparently there used to be a walking path back there that has since not been maintained, so things like that. So it was really, it was interesting. It was great to kind of see all the different parts of Burlington, the challenges, but also kind of the opportunities. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. I'm going to open up to planning board members. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Nobody wants to go? Okay.
If you have some, you can go
No,
ahead, I can
I
wait.
have so much to say that somebody else should talk first.
Who says I don't have more than you?
You'll see.
You guys can duke it out if you want.
Please go ahead. I'm hoping you'll cover some of my points, and then I won't have to talk as long.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So, in general, I like the idea, but the devil's going to be in the details. All right. And one of the things, so Middlesex Turnpike and Mall Road, you want to decrease the width of each lane. Those are the two busiest roads in town into the industrial section, the commercial section, which are going to have 18-wheelers. How are they going to navigate a narrower roadway? Because an 18-wheeler the box is 8 feet wide. The inside of the box is 8 feet wide. So you've got about, a little bit more than that. On a 10-foot wide road, 11 is narrow, 10 is even going to be more narrow. So for starters, how do we navigate that issue? Specifically for Middlesex Turnpike and Mall Road.
I don't think we mentioned lane widths in this study. Minimum lane width.
Moving it down to 10 feet.
Minimum 10 feet. I would say for Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike, 11 feet would be the standard. For some of the other streets, the parallel streets, we could go down to 10.
Okay.
But in general,
Because on your.
to your point, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on your your complete streets.
Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
from 60 feet to 54 feet, right? And there's still a total of 5 lanes of traffic.
Correct.
So at 54 feet that's under 11 feet per,
Well, it'd be 11 times 4 is 44, and then the median could vary.
Yeah, the median would have to-
If there's a turn pocket at the intersections, that would be at the 11-foot. If it's,
yeah, it does say 10 feet.
yeah, no, that,
And, additionally, so with this, your map doesn't really include going to the Market Basket Mall and the Target Mall. And
Oh,
so
okay.
that is, I think, we can't really leave out those two
No.
parcels.
my understanding, there's a separate study looking at the traffic in the Market Basket H Mart area, right?
Yeah, so there was a grant that we received to look at the entire mall corridor, Middlesex Turnpike corridor, from essentially kind of Lexington all the way up to kind of do preliminary kind of study of it, planning, and so that is in the works. We are working on finalizing the contract with our consultants, and so these are the things that will be discussed in the future.
Okay, I mean, because I would like to see Target
Yep.
and make it a whole loop or whatever it is.
Yep.
All right, and to the point that you had brought up earlier, we had the Beeline, but now it's Uber for the elderly, so to speak, who need to go from point to point. So the Beeline never really had the ridership, is comment number one. Comment number two is you're using Everett and Woburn as comparisons in your document. Woburn's got 41,000 people, Everett's got 49,000 people. They're both cities. Woburn has the Anderson train station in it. Everett has Wellington Circle T-stop and the Malden Center T-stop, which are very close and local to Everett. So those communities are 60 to 100% larger than what we are. But we don't, other than the mall, we don't really have a large place for vehicles to congregate for the one place to park. How do you work that into the question, into the equation? And then, if our goal here is to reduce traffic, all right, how much is all of this gonna cost? And are we doing this from a socially green perspective, where we're gonna foot the bill as a community? Or are we doing this that we're going to make money in the process? And if we're gonna foot the bill, how much is it gonna cost? If we're gonna charge the developers for their own I've already mentioned before that I don't like us getting money out of developers for properties that are not theirs. And so how do we kind of, combine those two on what our goal is in the long run on how this operates?
So for your first question, kind of regarding price tags, that was totally outside the scope of this. This is much more high level. That's a concern, obviously, definitely, and something to think about. And this is, again, 20, 30-year high-level plan. Like, these are things we should consider as we develop, as we zone, as we make changes to the roadway. These are kind of key things. Just think about it. As far as the, land and develop and like private property versus public property, one thing that I will say is that, given the demographics of the people that are coming to work here, in high tech, labs, life science, to them, it's a benefit, it's an amenity to have really good, bike and walking trails. I think it's an amenity that sets us apart from other business areas on 128 Belt if we were to kind of develop in that way. So, I think of it in terms of that, and I think that, you know, as far as developers, property owners versus the town, you know, I think of this more as in terms of public-private partnerships. We can get grant money from the state to do some of it, get on the tip. There's, there are options. They're long-term options, but these are all important things to be thinking about.
I think to your point, though, I think it's as development comes in that these goals are implemented as part of that. Like if there's a property frontage on Middlesex Turnpike and there's a building going up, that we add that shared, instead of a narrow sidewalk, we have a wider path as part of that development. And then as other developments come in, that infills, and then at some point, the town will say, we've got the gaps, we want to pay for the gaps, or there's a paving project.
And that's how we've
Incremental.
actually done it in the past. So all the sidewalks that you see on Mall Road, Middlesex Turnpike, those did not used to exist 20 years ago, and that's all been work through this board, previous members of this board. And so, you know, as we've piecemealed, you know, we always push for sidewalks, you know, if it, at all possible. This is asking for higher quality. Buffers from the sidewalk, like landscape buffers between the roadway where people are going 35, 40, and, you know, a walking path or a cycling path. So it's kind of upping our game a little bit, I would say.
I think if you look at this document, it's pretty intense. We don't know what development is going to occur in each of these properties, given the zoning, given, you know, the climate of commercial real estate, residential real estate, and so on and so forth. What I'd really like to see is have this more in phases. What can we do now? What can we do to implement some of these things that aren't going to scare a tenant away, thinking, hey, you know what, if I'm going to move into this property here, they want a bridge, they want a tunnel, they want whatever it is, and somehow I'm going to get stuck with the bill. And I think that that's really important, because we don't want to scare our tenants away or proposed tenants away. We want to make sure that, you know, Burlington is a welcoming community for any type of commercial aspect. Again, given the climate of, you know, the commercial elements. Again, I think it's intense, right? I think that if we maybe did a phase one and said, this is what we can do now, given whatever grants that we have, and then maybe there's a phase two, given whatever tenants decide to, you know, come into the city, come into the town. I almost said city, because I feel like that's what we're looking at, is like city roads here. But I think it's a good idea. I love the idea that we're definitely calling it aspirational, but I think we need to take it more in phases, because I think it's going to scare people away.
Yeah.
When we met with Nordblum, who obviously owns a large amount of property on the west side of Middlesex Turnpike, they wanted confidence from the town. They were like, we're all in, but we also want confidence from the town that this whole piece will be built. So they're kind of saying the same thing you are, in the sense that we want to see this happen, they want to see this happen, the costs are concerned, but it has to be something, they want to feel confidence that, you know, for that path along Middlesex, for example, is that they'd like to see that they can contribute as part of developments that come online, but they also want to see the town embracing that and either advancing it or in some way making it a real thing.
Public-private partnerships.
Yeah,
We've had a history of partnering with a lot of our developers in town, so I don't see this as being any different.
Yeah, I would say, as an aside, as part of this vision, I was in, you know, Costa Mesa, California, South Coast Plaza, a large shopping mall there, and they have two bridges that go from the mall directly over to other developments. So I saw that as like a pedestrian bridges that connect to other developments across major highways, and so that was like a relevant example of the Burlington Mall and how that can better connect, and those bridges come right to the entrance to the mall door. So take a look at that as one example of a very similar sort of auto-dependent, office retail mixed use that you have here, but also, you know, creating it such that people can drive there, but also walk to different parts of that area.
Is that a Simon Mall?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Barbara, go ahead.
Okay. So I completely agree with what Brenda's saying. I sort of phrased it differently in my notes, but it's kind of the same thing. When I was looking at this, I was thinking it almost in two parts. The practical things that we could do within the next 10 years, say, and the really aspirational things, which are wonderful to contemplate, but probably aren't going to happen really soon. So, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm kind of looking at this almost like a master plan for transportation in the town, and it's mostly aspirational, but hopefully in time, we implement little bits and pieces here and there. I have a concern about timing. I watched the select board meeting that happened about a week and a half ago, and perhaps I misunderstood, but it sounded to me like in that presentation that what was being suggested is that you'd come before us, and then you'd get our feedback, and you'd go back to select board and they'd vote on it. Pump the brakes. There's a lot here. I started reading the document, I got about a third of the way through, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's going to take a lot of time, and we need to go very slowly and carefully. Jess and I are on the subcommittee to do the rules and regulations for the mixed district, and it's a bear. And this could be that if we don't move slowly and carefully. I want to make sure that what we are suggesting, even if it's truly aspirational and we don't expect it right now, let's make sure it's not a disincentive to development, because I could see how it could go that way if we're not careful. So that's concerning me. Okay, got that part. This was a question because I know part of the goal here is to try and get people to park and walk so that they're not driving all around from store to store, from restaurant to store. What is the distance, and you don't have to answer any of these questions right now, but if we know the distance between the mall and Third Ave, it's not long, but is it a half a mile? Is it?
So when we were talking with Nordblom and they were presenting their plan for the new building that they're building on Middlesex Turnpike across from Third Ave, I think they estimated that, using Meadow Road, it was about a 10-minute walk from their building
Okay.
to the mall.
So maybe a half mile.
Yeah, yeah, and so, whatever that is added.
See from Third Ave.
Okay, so now I'm looking at the map, okay? Question that, again, I think I know the answer, but I think it's important that we have town engineering look at this. Have they been involved up until this point? In engineering department?
Not that I am aware of.
So we need to bring them in. Looking at now bridges and tunnels. Okay, so if we look at in the top left-hand corner, bring that map.
Yep.
There we go. That's the bridge to the landlocked forest, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
And then we have below that, the bridge to the theater.
C, yeah.
And then we have a bridge. We have another bridge. What is this one? Oh, no, the underpass that we want to expand and make better.
Correct.
Great. I think that's sort of, I put that in the category of we could do that sooner.
That would be, we
Right.
consider that first priority.
And then we have a tunnel going from the mall underneath 128. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct. There's a right-of-way, a street right-of-way that follows on the south side.
But is it
It's a
going,
big-
is it a tunnel?
It would be tunnel because the roadway's above
Okay.
and the road lands below.
I'm not walking through a tunnel. Scary?
Well, and that's the topography. That's,
I'm concerned about that. I worry about safety. I'm not sure how that would go over with the community. So some of these things, again, we have to approach them as they come. I also wanted to ask, I have another concern about some of the green spaces. They sound wonderful. I'm very concerned about encouraging people to have recreational opportunities in the meadow. The meadow is a swamp, and it's not safe.
Wetland.
And I live on the other side of that meadow, and I would not want anyone, if part of this says, we have to have it lit so people can enjoy it at night, you can't go there at night. There are coyotes, there are bobcats. I don't go in my backyard at night most of the time. It's not safe.
The proposed trail is a red line around the edge of the meadow, pretty close to.
I think it's
Middlesex.
basically the river, it would be the kind of the river walk that was originally proposed during the
Okay,
master
so
plan.
this is not the walk that was proposed in
No.
the development agreement?
No, this
Thank
is,
you.
no,
Okay.
nope,
Okay,
nope.
thank you. We still have to be careful about some
Oh,
of
yeah.
these things because it's relatively remote. And there
Yeah,
have
it
been
has to-
problems in the past with people wandering around in there and getting lost and having to call to be rescued. So it's not the safest place. So let's make sure that what we are aspiring to is actually something we want.
That comment was put, pardon the interruption, there was a resident that come to one of our meetings that was suggesting that lives in the neighborhood and wanted better connection, so.
Some of the other things that in the document, it talks a lot about connecting existing and future neighborhoods to this area. I think, and I'm not expecting answers to this, which neighborhoods? And do the neighborhoods get a say? Because we've had a lot of pushback from neighborhoods in that area that sort of want, not a physical, but a wall protecting them from the more commercial area that is right next door. And they may not react well to us trying to connect them more. I don't know. It would depend, and I'm not sure which neighborhoods we're talking about, but that's something we need to be really sensitive about because that's where people live. I like all the key crossings that you talked about. I think that's wonderful, and that's someplace I think we could start.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something that's more practical and something that could happen sooner, in my opinion. Yes, on the complete streets, I have some concerns regarding South Bedford Street. It sounded like there was an intent to narrow it to one lane in each direction at the part of South Bedford Street between Mall Road and the 128 overpass. That causes me concern because that's already got some traffic congestion problems, especially since Leahy put in their gate, and the traffic is already backing up onto South Bedford Street. If we narrow that to one lane, people can't get by the people who are waiting to turn in. So that could be an issue. And we have to be really careful about anything we're doing beyond that overpass, because there, where it goes down to one lane, is a traffic nightmare. So we're talking about maybe adding a multimodal path on either side of that, or one side of that.
One side.
On one side, that's people's property. So I know we have a right-of-way, but we don't have
Right, again.
10 or 12 feet. So I don't know how we do that unless we do it on the other side, which is town property, but those are the fields.
You're talking about all the way down to.
Right, that
I don't think-
section.
I don't know, I think it was more connection to getting to Mary Cummings. I don't think we were going to go down past
Okay.
Northeastern.
Not going that far
We're
down.
not going to
Okay,
go
good.
past Northeastern.
Okay.
No, the solution would be one lane in each direction with a center turn lane, which there is not now, to the properties you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, so, let's try
I think
right
it's
here.
I see it as a more medium.
Okay. So,
Right.
in general, I love the idea of a master plan for transportation that we consider as developments come to us, and we look to it as a guide. I think we have to be really careful about what we request and what we require, because the requirements could very well become disincentives to development, and we don't want to do that. And I'm very concerned about the timeline. I want us to finish the mixed rules, guides, and regulations before we tackle this, because we're going to learn a lot from that process that would inform this process. And I want us to move more slowly with this than we did with the mixed district, so we can avoid some of the same pitfalls. So, thank you.
Everyone else?
Anyone else?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I like this as a concept, as like kind of a North Star. I think, as you've heard, that it needs some more going over, possibly, and then a thoughtful way to make it a programmatic approach after there's a high-level plan to see, to your point, what's feasible sooner and what has returns on it that people would value. I think something I noticed was, I like the concept of getting cars off the roads. And when you improve the transportation, you can cut down the lanes to add in a bike lane. But I think we have to be careful on two fronts as you think about this. One is that I don't think the bike lane on 3A was well-received. It's still not well-received, so you have to be very thoughtful about how and where bike routes are. It might look good on paper, but I'm wondering about the practical application.
So we did take that into consideration when we were talking about this. So that's why I think, have been kind of thinking more about shared use paths in this situation as opposed to striped bike lanes on streets. We've heard you guys loud and clear. I know that it's, that being said, on my way to work here, I do see people riding their bikes around.
On Cambridge Street?
On Cambridge Street, and they're wearing work attire. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? So it exists, again, safety is paramount. And so I think that's why, shared use path is, I think, the kind of the way to go.
And I think the other point is, as you take cars off with improved transportation and reduce lanes, we're also talking about looking at the future when there's infill opportunity that could reintroduce cars that you take 5 cars out, let's say, because you put a bus in, you're going to put 5 back with infill. So I'd be concerned about what the change in the lanes do, and I think we'd need some thorough traffic studies, both
Yes.
in current state and potentially what it could look like if you upped density of infill and what that we think that would do for traffic. I think another thing to think about is, you've looked at places like South Bedford. I think there's opportunity for more businesses or other ventures to come in, and that could change traffic patterns. So I think you've got to think about what does it look like if you increase traffic again in other areas. Another is, I did work with the Transportation Committee, and one of the things we found a few years ago was a large percentage of the kids in town don't participate in after-school activities because they can't get there. It was something in the 40% range. So as we're looking at what we can do to improve these commercial areas, and we're thinking about transportation opportunities, I think we have to take the residents into consideration too, and we have to think about what are the patterns, not that we're seeing, but that we want to see. We want to see the kids participating in after-school events. So they're not on the road today. Where are those? When are those? And how do we get the kids to those as we look at these opportunities? And that's where this may veer off a classic, put a bus in, because a bus has a lot of people, and it may be smaller buses. Multiple smaller buses have a higher throughput, and you can run them more frequently. So we really have to start thinking outside the box as we look at this and what that future looks like, and how we compare that to your point in public-private about bringing young tech companies who might want to make electric automated microbuses. Right? There's a lot here that we can go for, and I want to make sure we're opening our minds to anything.
Agreed. Sure, thank you.
All right, I'm done.
That's a shocking number, Jeremy.
It was somewhere around the 40%. It was about 4 or 5 years ago when I looked at this. So
That's surprising and unfortunate, yeah. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that has just?
Oh, sorry, Jess. you wanna go?
I would just, I'm adding to what my fellow members already said, but in particular with South Bedford Street, I also have some concern, and I think it's really hard, especially for us right now, to make decisions on how to treat that when you have a major plot of land on that street that is basically not in use. We have a massive building there with really no one coming in and out. And Burlington Woods is hurting. So I think it's also really hard for us to understand what could the future of the traffic in that area look like. In the same vein, I do see people, because I travel that road a lot, on bikes or e-bikes. And so they are using it in that manner, but I don't think the answer is narrowing the road. How then would that work? I don't know, but given that a good chunk of, they just redid the sidewalks there. Given that a good chunk is already underutilized from a commercial standpoint, thinking about that side of the road and how that can be used a little bit more, especially because that side of the road turns right into Wayside.
Yep.
I'd like to see that thought out a little bit more rather than narrowing the roads. And then with Mall Road, I do also have concerns with narrowing there, given Leahy, the amount
Yes,
of emergency vehicles going up and down. And right now, you can scoot over to allow them to go by, but if we make that even narrower, what problem does that present with emergency vehicles? And then I'm glad Member Harrington brought up the resident piece. Because honestly, this is great for commercial, but I'd hope to see a little bit more from a residential standpoint. I mean, when I think about Lexington Street, yes, we have sidewalks there, but you can't fit a stroller down part of Lexington Street. And it's a great way to connect from many of our schools. My son will be taking an after-school activity on Friday at the rec center. And as a working mom, I'm like, okay, well, this is hard enough to get him there, but if there was a way, an easy way that you could feel like it was a better protected pathway for kids to get there, whether from the high school, you have an elementary school, middle school, you have even Francis Wyman that you could go down.
Yep.
I think I really want to think about how this can also benefit residents. Connecting them even to the Common a little bit easier, to part where CVS is, where hopefully middle housing will come. That stuff is underway, so how do we better connect also to that part? Because that is also a massive traffic issue. So I think those would be my main key areas of feedback, was how do we fit more resident benefiting pieces into this?
Do you have anything, Tony?
I just want to say, I like the idea of using it like all my fellow members said, like as a guide. But like, what can we do now? I feel like the same thing, like, because I kind of have mixed feelings about the people I've talked to on 3A. They weren't a big advocate. Up the people that I've talked to about, they felt it was a little dangerous. And I just think with today, when they're saying the MBTA cut the bus routes down. So if we're cutting bus routes and that brings more cars to the road, we're gonna need space. That's my concern. So I think sometimes dealing with the present is more of like, I think the ideas are really good, but I think we need to deal with what the reality is, that what we can handle right now in the present, because I just think there are cars on the road. It's like, there has been for years. I've lived here all my life, and everybody's taking cars, and their kids have cars, and very few kids today are saying, I want to ride my bike over there. They're like, I want a car, or are you giving me a ride? I don't see it.
Unless they're under 16.
So, huh?
I said unless they're under 16.
Yeah, well, I'm just
Then they want a
saying,
ride.
most kids, I know, wanted a car at 16 or something.
But that having been said, I will say, when you drive in other towns, I'm specifically thinking of Lexington, those kids are riding bikes. Partly because they don't
My
have.
son's elementary school.
Do they?
Elementary kids riding
Yeah.
bikes to Francis Wyman.
And in Lexington, because you have to pay for the buses, kids are riding bikes to school.
But that's to my point, if they're under 16. I
True.
mean, my kids want
Yes,
to ride their bikes
that's
to
true.
school, and they're
Yeah,
under 16.
that's true.
So,
But one thing we forgot to say is, the chair had mentioned that probably the next step should be a joint meeting.
Yeah, I'd like to see a joint
between
meeting.
Select Board and us. I personally think that should be more of a kind of a working meeting where we go through this
discussion.
Agreed.
piece by piece, sitting around a table together, not in this format perhaps, before we come back into this format. And I don't know, we haven't mentioned that to Select Board yet. I imagine they would be amenable, but let's check with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that being said, may I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue this matter to a future joint meeting of the Planning Board and Select Board at a time and date to be determined.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much for coming this evening.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time on this, because it really is very comprehensive, and it's exciting to contemplate. It's also a little scary.
Absolutely. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Moving on to matters of appointment. Item A is a public hearing, application for approval of a special permit pursuant to Section 1.4.1, light manufacturing or processing plants of the South Avenue Plan Development, PD zoning district provision, 63 South Avenue, Keurig Green Mountain, the applicant. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Christine Hung, attorney at Reamer and Bronstein. With me tonight, I have Mark Angotti on behalf of Keurig. We're excited to be before you tonight with respect to our request for a special permit for light manufacturing. Since 2009, Keurig has been operating at 53 and 63 South Avenue as its corporate headquarters and R&D facility. They are continually looking to innovate their technology as well as their commitment to quality materials and sustainability. And early last year in 2024, they unveiled a new type of brewing system and pods called the K-Rounds, which are or will be aluminum-free, plastic-free, and the intent is for it to be fully compostable. And most recently, as many of you, or all of you, have heard that Keurig is acquiring Peet's Coffee, and so they're on an exciting path to be a global leader in the coffee industry, and they're going to be headquartered right here in Burlington. As part of this growth, they are looking to add light manufacturing as one of their uses. They will use, the light manufacturing will take place at 63 South Avenue in approximately 2,500 square feet of space. They are only planning on hiring 1 or 2 additional employees, and this is to continue their beta testing and then the saleable manufacturing as they kind of expand towards distribution to, to everyone. I'd like to hand it over right now to Mark. He's going to walk you through the floor plan, and then we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Christine. Hello all. Good evening. So, as Christine mentioned, we are utilizing this special permit as a contingency plan to support saleable manufacturing of our product. The official scale-up proposal is going to be in our Spartanburg, South Carolina facility that we're currently building out. So this is just going to help to reinforce for whatever scenario might come up to support that full scale-up. As Christine mentioned, the 2,500 square foot facility that we're currently seeing is currently in use. It's currently outfitted with all the capabilities. No additional infrastructure is going to be required. So starting at the bottom left, we have some green bean cleaning and storage location. And then moving kind of counterclockwise, we have a 12 kilogram roasting equipment. We do all of our roasting on site, so we're making all those great smells that you smell around the facility, hopefully. Then we go over to the right of that, we have grinding, densification. And so this is where we start to process that coffee in preparation to make the puck. So we're taking that ground coffee and we're compressing it into a puck format. We then take that compressed coffee puck and we coat it with a food grade alginate to increase the structural integrity of that puck. And it's essentially a food grade packaging. It's not considered an ingredient, it is a packaging of the product. There's no migration into the beverage, where then, as Christine mentioned, it is a fully home compostable solution. That's the biggest key. It's not commercial compostability, it's home compostability. And as Christine mentioned, plastic, aluminum free as well. I brought a couple samples to show what they look like here. These are also going to get us into the market of espresso-based beverages as we see the trends of the marketing in North America going up. So allowing us to do espresso-based beverages in addition to our traditional-based beverages. So what you are seeing here are the espresso pucks. They're 8-gram fill weight, and then we can increase the size from that to our traditional product as well. So it's very exciting. It's very innovative. It is the future of the company. Again, it answers that single-use plastic waste stream that, we all dread, we want to get away from. So this is a great product. We can all back it as the employee force here. We hope to launch this product in September 2026. So that is the target. As Christine also mentioned, with the JDE acquisition, very exciting news as well. That is going to finalize in the first half of 2026. And then there is going to be a split of the company to the hot and cold side at the end of 2026. So there will be a Global Coffee Co. company named TBD and a U.S. refreshment beverage side of the company. So the Global Coffee Co. will be global headquarters here in Burlington, Massachusetts. We're in the process of extending the lease with our new landlord here, so even a larger stake in the ground here in Burlington, Massachusetts, which we're very excited about.
Great, thank you. Liz, Caleb?
I have no comments. Seems pretty straightforward. They've gone through the process of all of the different departments reviewing. We don't have any comments from anybody besides I don't think we have any.
No, I mean, there's standard comments from Board of Health are included, and I think, just kind of hearing about this amazing technology that's here in Burlington, and kind of bringing this innovation, you're bringing the workforce here to town, is something that we definitely support.
Great, thank you. I don't have anything to add in. Again, I also think it's pretty straightforward. I'm also not a coffee drinker, but if you do bone broth, I'm your girl. But if there's anyone on the board that would have any comments, questions, go
I
ahead.
have questions. Mine are more curiosity questions.
Sure.
Will these work with existing Keurig machines?
They will not,
They
no.
will not, so you get a different machine.
It
Okay.
will require a new machine. The new machines will offer both K-round technology and K-cup technology for a smooth
So-
transition.
What's left after you brew this?
That
Little
is.
plastic?
Nope.
No,
It's
not
a
plastic.
brew-through technology, so it will look exactly like that, except for a bunch of holes
Oh.
that gets pierced, and then water is rushed through that. So it stays
So you
fully
throw this
intact, and then you can just
Okay.
take that up and throw it in your garden or throw it in your compost bin.
Cool.
Your hydrangea is a different color.
There you go.
With the garden.
There you go. Gardens love coffee, so,
I didn't know that.
yes.
You guys can send me
Good
yours.
to know. I wonder why everything I have dies.
Is there any thought that you might increase manufacturing in this location in the future, or is that not your plan?
That is not the plan. No, it's strictly R&D, test, validation purposes. Again, this is a part of our business continuity plan to support saleable manufacturing, but it'll be mainly in Spartanburg, South Carolina, or around our other production sites.
Two more questions. You're running 3 shifts, correct?
No,
Not
it is.
more?
No, we never were.
So why are the
free
lights
sh-
on in the building all night long?
That is a good
can see
question
them
for
from
the
my house.
facilities. So,
In the winter, I can see them from my house when the leaves are off the trees.
Sure.
I was told that they're running 3 shifts there when I asked before.
no, it is,
Maybe at one point.
So if you're not, can you turn those off?
I will report that to the
We'll
facilities
save you some
team.
money, too. And then, I don't expect an answer on this today, but I think it would be interesting at some point in the future to find out what you think about the previous discussion that we had. I'm not going to put you on the spot tonight, but I'd be curious to know if you had any thoughts about that at some point in the future. The previous discussion that we had about the transportation master plan that we talked about
Oh,
before this. I'm not going to ask you to comment on that now, that's not
Yes,
fair.
yeah, I
But at
will
some
come
point in the
back to you,
future, I think
yeah,
It would be great to hear
definitely.
from you about that.
Sure, absolutely.
Anyone else?
I just have one quick question.
Sure.
So after the merger, then you're going to split up.
Yes,
Where's the headquarters of the second company going to be?
of U.S. Refreshment Beverages.
Whatever, so you're going to
TBD.
have 2, one staying here,
Yep.
and where's the other one going?
So TBD, we do have our other R&D location in Texas. There's a high likelihood it may stay there, but no decisions has been made yet. We will have a international headquarters on the Global Coffee Co. in Amsterdam, where JDE Peet's is located. So there will be an international headquarters there, and then our world headquarters here in Burlington, Massachusetts.
Okay.
The roles that you have here, or the jobs that you have here in Burlington, do those stay? What does the job market look like for the Burlington headquarters?
Yeah, TBD. There's a lot of still unknowns. So I'll have to probably come back to you with that, and I can direct you to our investors location on our KDB website and our KDP communications team as well.
Yeah, I would be curious about that.
Sure.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? May I have a motion?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? Oh, I'm sorry, is there anyone in the audience that has any questions, comments, or concerns? Thank you. new
Madam Chair,
here.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on this matter.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I would further like to make a motion to approve the request of Keurig Green Mountain Incorporated for a special permit pursuant to Section 1.4.1, light manufacturing or processing plants of the South Avenue Planned Development District, to permit research and development associated with prototype testing of a new brewing system and pods for property located at the South Avenue Planned Development District, as well as partially in the Aquifer and Water Resource Overlay Districts at 63 South Avenue, subject to the terms and conditions contained in Exhibit A attached.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you
good
very
evening.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to minutes. We have the August 21st and September 4th minutes. Has everyone had a moment to take a peek at those?
Yes. I will be abstaining from August 21st because I was not present.
Okay, may I have a motion for August 21st?
Motion to approve the minutes of August 21st, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain. One.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of September 4th, 2025.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, let's move on to discussion matters.
All right. So just kind of lots of updates happening in the office. Haven't seen you guys in person in a while, so I wanted to give some updates. So as you guys know, as was mentioned earlier, we are working on the mixed design rules and regulations. I wanted to give you guys a progress update. We have been meeting with our consultants with Innis Strategies Group, and we have received comments from them, their initial review of the design rules and regs document. And a lot of the comments have to do with making sure continuity between the zoning bylaw language and the rules and regs language, as well as kind of determining what should be, this is a must, you have to do this, versus this is, a strong suggestion. So there's that, and so they've been giving us some kind of comments on that, inline comments, so I don't know if you and Jess had any thoughts on
And I
it.
can't remember if we told the board this before, but one of the things that Jess and I really want to see out of this is a very simple, almost checklist approach, so that developers, if they're building this type of building, they have this checklist, they know exactly what they have to do. We need to streamline it, make it really simple. So that's one of the main goals.
Yep.
Like that idea?
Town, anything else? Town center?
Yes, Town Center Design Guide. I'm going to be sending that out to you. I would like to finish it up, have it finished up at our next meeting. So I'm going to be sending you the final draft of that. I know that we've been working on it with the chamber and members of ZBA and the business community, and it's been a really great process. And I think it's a good it's a good first step in the right direction. And I think it's definitely something that we should consider rolling out to other areas of town. Betsy, who's on here with us, she is part of the team there. But I think we want to,
Let's take a look at
finish it out.
those.
Yeah, so I'll be sending that out to you guys. The next item.
Can I just say one thing about that?
Yes.
So to my fellow board members, now I'm going to sound like your mother, please, please, please read it and give Liz your comments before our next meeting, because we really want to vote on it at our next
As
meeting.
we-
Well, I think that being said, let's have it at least a week before the
Oh,
next
I'm
meeting.
going to send it out tomorrow, get ready.
Okay, all
Just
right.
light reading.
Okay, I just want to make sure, I
Oh,
mean,
yes, yes,
it's
yes.
obviously not a discussion point at this point, but, let's
100%,
take a look and then we'll discuss.
Yes.
Yes.
MassDOT? Oh, I'm sorry.
We're going to do the warrant articles, so I'm going to
same.
bring those up. So that's, Betsy is here to talk about the ZBRC. They have one, and so I'm going to share this.
I just sent Betsy a request on mute. That should show up on your screen, Betsy. Let me know if there's any issues.
Yep, and I think you have that in part of your packet.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
And I think, oh, and that should
Okay.
have come to your email as well.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome, yes, thank you very much. I'm assuming you can hear me. Great. We were I think that we were in front of you, I don't know, last spring with a much more robust zoning proposal. And we went back after talking to you and getting feedback and decided and also there's some changes in the building department, decided that what we really should do is really more a housekeeping article, which is what you see here, where we are adding a definition for setback. It seems to be everybody understands that we need to define what a setback is and then incorporate that language into the articles, zoning articles where it makes sense to do so. So again, this is pretty much adding the definition. And then, Liz, as you flip through, you'll see that what we're doing is we're basically just adding the word setback where it's appropriate. We also had an effort to go back through the zoning bylaws to see where it would be appropriate to add the word. So you see here in Article 5, and then later on in Article 6, and the use table, which is also
Yeah.
in there, where we're just adding the word setback. There's a whole lot of stuff going on there, but really the thing we're talking about is adding setback to each one of those. We're not changing any of the dimensions or any of that sort of thing. It's just adding that word now that it is defined. And then going to the section 6, where we needed to add the word setback in there, and then section 10, which is just, again, more housekeeping, putting that setback definition in where it seems appropriate. And with Liz's help, we got this thing put together and worded correctly so that that's what we're doing. So we're not going after, remember, we had a lot of discussion about structures and all of that other accessory use, et cetera. We're not going after that at this point. It's really more defining setback and then making sure the word is added where it's appropriate within the zoning bylaws.
Yep. A little bit of kind of how I am understanding this and how I think it's helpful is when you see in the dimensional table, you just see, front yard, minimum front yard. Does that, like, a yard can be a backyard, a front yard? Like, what does that mean? And so by adding setback, you're making it even more specific. So you're not talking about putting a swing set in your backyard. You're saying you can't put your swing set in the minimum front yard setback, you know what I mean, in the minimum front yard setback. So I think it's just an additional clarification that I think is helpful, and I know that ZBRC has been working with our new inspector of buildings, Marty Allen, and he also endorses this plan, and so it's just clarification, and members of the ZBRC did a great job in kind of going through the whole bylaw and, deciding, does setback need to be next to this yard word or that yard word? So, but that is kind of where we are on that. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you.
All right, and so I'm gonna get to mine, which is kind of a correction regarding pet-related uses. So we have done a lot of amending to the use table, which has, it's been good, and it's been, you know, some things are good and some things are challenging. So, oh, I'm not sharing. Thank you, Caleb. Where are we? Oh, thank you. Thank Caleb. Yes, okay. Oh, geez. I'm sorry, guys.
I can't see that too good.
I know, nope, not that one. This one? Is it gonna, oh,
Give it a second to update it, Will.
oh, yep, here we go.
There
We
you go.
did it, we got it. Okay, so, we updated, back in, I feel like it was 2023. No, it was 2024, May of 2024, when I brought, with MBTA Communities, I also brought modernization of the use table to planning board, to the town meeting, a lot of things. So one of the parts of that was that we reviewed the existing use table, which kind of, you know, had some antiquated uses, could be consolidated, and we consolidated some uses, and we added new definitions to make them more modern. And so this was one of the definitions that was added, which was kind of an overarching animal services use, which includes all of these things, which are great. But when we look back at it, this definition does not directly, it doesn't directly match with what we had in the use table. And so all these changes I'm looking to make are to kind of combine the two so that it's a direct connection. So under pet, so getting rid of its own thing, pet grooming, we don't have a pet grooming use. So got rid of it, added it to pet training and care, which is, you know, tighten that up. And then we are adding back animal clinic, hospital training and care. This was in the bylaw before the modernization. There are two animal use categories. There's one for commercial raising and boarding of animals, it's under agricultural uses. And then there's one that's under commercial uses, like retail, vets and stuff. And I think that when we consolidated them, I think we assumed they were the same when they were not. And so that's what we are, that's the change we are making, or change, that's
Fixing.
Fixing, that's, and the other thing I'll say is, we have been getting so many inquiries for pet-related uses within the past
Because everybody
months.
got
Yeah.
pets during.
That's
during,
exactly right.
The shutdown,
COVID,
and now
oh,
they
yeah.
gotta figure out what to do with them.
I know, so we want to make.
Clarify things for
This will
town
clarify things for staff, and so, you know, we have to add the number changes in so that everybody knows what they will be, but that is all I have on that. Are there any questions, comments?
Two.
Yes, Jess.
One, not related to the change you made, but the animal hospital, as someone with a pet who likes to get into their kids' backpacks and eat raisins, he has had to be kept overnight for observance, not from a medical
Got it.
procedure, for observance. So I think we need to update that definition to allow for.
Okay,
For
Animal-
overnight boarding of animals who
Animal
eat
observe.
food they're not supposed to.
I had one of those too.
Put that in verbatim.
Raisins and chocolate included.
Yes, it will cost you thousands of dollars, but yes.
all right, love that.
So I think I would like to see that update. And then I'm not seeing this table where pet training and care is.
So we have pet training and care, so I added grooming and daycare. So when you go down to 42614, animal clinic,
Oh,
animal
it's listed
hospital,
as one
training
now.
and care, yep.
And that doesn't affect anywhere that we currently have grooming.
No,
Okay.
no, no, nope.
Is,
How does this, sorry, one other question.
Go ahead.
What about mobile grooming?
That's a question for the inspector of buildings. If it's not a permanent use, then it doesn't, if it's not in the ground and permanent for a year, it doesn't fall under our zoning bylaw. And so mobile uses was a thing that we've been talking about for years, and it's really kind of at the under the inspector of buildings and how they want to handle it. So,
Okay.
but that's a great question.
And that would likely be if they have that, they have a van parked somewhere, and
Yes.
it's like, they have office space where they're not bringing in more for the administrative side, where that would probably fall under office space
Right.
versus it being,
Right.
it changes from office once they bring in the pets to the
The
office,
use
then
is
that
different,
changes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you used a mobile pet groom?
I haven't, but
I used one
I
once.
have.
I've seen it advertised and
I've used one
discussed.
once.
Come right to your
Awesome.
Yeah.
driveway.
Yeah.
I
People
get
really
too
like it.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Okay, that was it.
Cool. Jeremy, yes, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time looking at it, so.
No, that's totally fine. We're just, I mean, this is just, I mean, we're just presenting, and then tomorrow, next meeting, we're gonna open up for like more discussions, but I'm happy to take feedback now.
It's just on the definitions, I mean, it's referencing pet a lot, and then in the table, it's animal clinic, hospital, and training, so.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a way to connect them more
Yeah,
clearly. 'cause you
I can
talked
do
about
that. No,
connecting clearly.
absolutely. That's helpful, very helpful. Thank you. Love that.
MassDOT.
Okay, so so that we're gonna come full circle, everybody. I didn't want to spoil it, but we're coming full circle, okay?
Can I just stop you before you start?
Yes.
I don't want to vote on this letter because this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Okay,
So I just, if anyone has any feedback or wants to add to it, modify it, I'm happy to sign it. I just want to read it.
okay.
And I can do that.
Okay,
When
okay.
does it need to be submitted?
So I wanted to talk about it tonight.
We can talk about it. I mean, I
you-
just.
did
I get
have-
that?
Okay.
it-
What letter is that?
It's kind of in the mix,
Okay,
but I just want to make sure whatever I'm signing my name to, I've had a full opportunity to
Do you have
read.
a second one?
so it's,
I
okay, so
read
You read it?
When it was- Caleb, do you have one more?
I have a lot. Did I not send them out?
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't put out, that's why.
Oh, I have, I
I
think
got
some of us
one.
got it, some of us didn't.
So
Jeremy's
let's,
special.
so
Okay, let's see.
So before we go there, let me state my piece, and then we can kind of make a decision afterwards. So let me get up the, what I have, regional microtransit grant. Okay. So this, we talked about in the Marlboro Mobility Study about how, our existing transit network, bike network, sidewalk network is kind of, it's lacking in areas. It exists, it's not always comfortable, it's not always great, and kind of how we think about that in the future. And I am bringing you guys an option for the future. So discussions about this started about 2 weeks ago. And so there is a microtransit grant that MassDOT has put out to bid, and about a week or two ago, I was kind of contacted by Woburn, Wakefield, Stoneham, to talk about whether or not we should go in on a regional microtransit grant because it's it's looked upon more favorably. So I'm gonna start.
Stoneham or Reading, because it says.
Oh, sorry, Reading, sorry. Stoneham already has it. I'm sorry, Stoneham already has it, that's why I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, so, we have a great business, retail, residential mix, but we do have mobility gaps. So fixed route so these are the only fixed route transit. If you live up on Fox Hill, are you gonna be walking a mile to get to the 354 bus? Probably not. So, there are issues and gaps that fixed route transit can't solve alone. So traffic congestion, there's first mile, last mile, fixed routes are essential, but how do residents and employees get to their doorstep from the bus stop, and equity issues. So right now, if you are eligible, the town will give you a discount on an Uber and a Lyft to get where you need to go, and that's the program that they've been working with. And that's great, but if
Is that for like just elderly or something?
no, it's mostly for elderly, but there are other people that can qualify. But, it doesn't, if you are, have mobility issues, like you're not gonna be able to get in and around, town. So there's that.
So these are going to be
So,
accessible
Yes.
vehicles.
yes, so what is microtransit, you're asking? So it's a flexible on-demand transportation service that operates within a zone. So again, it uses smaller vehicles, so things like this, small mini buses or shuttles to share rides. You use a smartphone app and a phone call. It's a dynamic route.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about.
It's a,
It's something I've been very interested in for our town, before I even knew you were looking at this.
So it's a dynamic route, so basically when people put in, say, hey, I wanna go somewhere, the app will look at where everybody is and how the most efficient way to route things.
Just have one question about that.
Yep.
If elderly people are trying to use it, right, they're not good with the.
Correct. So there is actually a phone number you can
Okay.
call, so there
Yeah,
will be.
that's what I wanted to
Yes,
ask.
don't worry, there is a phone number you can call.
That's my
No,
only
no, no, no,
question,
no.
because I noticed they all say that, so go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. So again, it's not a fixed bus or a private taxi, it's an affordable public service. And it's also.
What do you mean by affordable public service? If it's not a taxi or an Uber, but does that mean it's not a,
So there will be a fee
Fee?
and there will be a
Okay.
fee, yeah, so, but it's not, I don't think that it's going to be dynamically priced. I know that the
Okay.
Stoneham version, I don't think it's, I think it's a flat fee.
Do you know what the Stoneham fee is?
I think it's like $2 or $3, it's like $2 or $3.
Oh,
It's
it's cheap.
really, it's really affordable.
It's like, the ride.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes,
that, yeah.
Yes.
and
And so, for economic development reasons, it increases labor pool access and retention, makes their location more accessible to a broader labor pool. Employees, it's a perk. You can get around without getting in your car. Ease congestion, and then, you talk about seniors, but teens as well, who can't get to after-school programs, link people to healthcare and restaurants, and, increases customers.
So if this is a shared thing between us and these other towns, you can even go, for the same fee, you could go, say, from here to your doctor's appointment in Woburn?
So that is something that we would need to
Okay.
work out. We haven't gotten there yet. We don't even have the grant yet.
Okay.
But it's,
Understood.
the thought process would be that, you'd be able to go, place to place directly anywhere within your town, but if you were to go outside of Burlington, there's only specific places you could go, like a restaurant or a shopping mall or doctor, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be, you can't go to your friend's house.
Okay.
It's more, again, reduce emissions and congestion, it's cost effective. Our buses run in every hour, it's not helpful. And Stoneham has it, they, every month, they have more and more ridership. Newton does it.
Do they share with anybody? I'm just curious.
So they got a grant about a year or two ago, and they were only, just part of their grant, they were kind of a pilot program, and so they only have it in Stoneham. So, we don't know if we could if we were to get the
Jump on
grant,
them?
we could kind of bring them into, we're not there yet, but there's a lot that we need to discuss. But it's a proven model. We aren't the only places that do this. A lot of cities in Florida have this. I've personally seen the Salem Skipper in Beverly before, so I know it's there.
Salem Skipper.
I know. And then I think that, the idea being that these would be low-emission vehicles and maybe even electric vehicles would be beneficial. And I know that in Stoneham, the drivers of these vehicles are locals. So I think that there's, an added benefit there, that they know where they're going, they know people.
so
Does
there's
the
not an
Express
autonomous.
bus still run?
The Lexpress bus does
does,
come in,
okay.
yes, it
I'm
does.
just curious.
Yeah.
So if this grant gets approved, it will come before us once again?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we're applying for is the Microtransit Last Mile Transit Grant Program. It is for flexible new transit options. The funding is a pilot program, Woburn, Reading, Wakefield, and the MassDOT has allocated $10 million for the project. We're not going to get 10 million, but that's the maximum that they can, or that's not the maximum, that's all they have, so they're going to be divvying it out. We are an employment hub, we have hospitals, there's a lot going on in our region, and the fact that we're doing a regional grant is a lot more,
There's actually a lot of reasons for people to come here.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes us a lot more competitive. So that is why we are, I kind of wanted to.
So,
How did that money be to advertise it?
Oh, I think it would be a lot, yeah, it would be all.
Because that's what I'm saying, half the time people don't really realize.
I know. And as things, I think that happened in Stoneham. It started that way, and then as word got out, and Stoneham also started as fixed points, like you would go to the end of a block, but then they migrated over to like pick you up at your house and go, and from there on, it's been really good.
So I'm just trying to think, when we looked in the Transportation Committee, one of the things was, how do we get people from places like Keurig to some of the restaurants right
100%.
nearby? Because a bus will get you there in 3 to 5 minutes. You wait for the buses we have now, that run once an hour, you'll never make it back from lunch in time. So there's a great aspect to use it to activate, restaurants during lunchtime, which is great for our economy. But it also brings up the reverse about how many assets would there be? Don't want them all tied up in that area. It's a big plus for the residents. We need to have enough. So, I love the idea. I just want to learn more as it develops, how many assets, what we
Yeah,
think the
exactly.
usage patterns would be, what public-private combinations we could do to add more assets to activate things in the area. And love the idea of electric. Another public-private with a school, I should say schools, but, like the Broad Institute draws in activity from Harvard and MIT and others, Northeasterns here. Is this an opportunity to partner with them, to have them develop autonomous vehicles and essentially get them for a discounted price that way?
Well, I think first, let's vote on the grant.
Exciting idea.
It's a great idea.
Funding makes launching a pilot program.
So this-
So does the money only cost, or only cover a pilot program?
So far, yes, and then after the program.
How long is the pilot program?
We have not.
So it's all kind of TBD. All right, so I think.
Just getting the first legs.
Okay, so I guess first and foremost, is everyone in agreement that we want to move forward and continue to research and figure out, what we can do with this potential money or move forward with this grant?
Yeah.
All right, that being said, I did read the letter. I'm okay with that. If you want me to sign it this evening, I'm happy to, assuming that my fellow board members are comfortable moving forward.
I am.
Yes.
That being said,
Is Stoneham still in their testing phase, or are they?
I don't know. I need to ask Erin Portman, their planner.
I'm just curious,
kind of
because
where-
if that's not a pilot anymore, we could find out how they're funded.
Yeah. Yep. And I think also, because it's a regional, I think it.
That helps.
It helps.
Yeah, I mean, every time
If we had to fit the whole bill.
I can definitely say, as far as the multiple communities partnering in on this, is something that the state looks kind of highly upon versus it just being one community doing, which they want to support each community, but when you can include multiple at once, that's something that will, I think, bring this kind of higher up the pecking order of what might get picked.
So do our representatives, like our state representative or our state senator, do they have any sway over these things? Should we be pulling them in and asking them to advocate for us?
I think we can definitely do that.
So we should ask Ken Gordon and
Talk to
Cindy
Ken and
Friedman,
tell him,
too.
stop with the bikes and get us somebody.
But also,
Oh, yeah.
we're digressing.
Cindy Friedman.
Invited
Yes,
us bike
and
to
Ken.
town.
yeah.
Cindy
All right, Barbara.
and Ken. And then do you have the meeting schedule up?
Well, do we-
Oh, sorry.
Do we need to vote
on the letter,
on this
or
letter
you
or
just
no?
have to discuss it?
So I think, so it's, I mean, I guess it would be a motion to,
Let's
that
do
you
it.
guys you're in favor of this and
I'd
you
like to make
endorse
a
the
motion
letter.
that we endorse the letter that has been presented to us by staff and signed by Brenda, our chair.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, schedule.
Yeah, so we are almost in 2026, which means a new meeting schedule and submission dates. So I think that Liz had sent this out to you guys in late
I
August.
sent it out a long time ago.
So I'm sure you guys have all seen it and taken a lot of time to review it. So we will send this back out as a reminder
Yeah, and-
before the next meeting.
But we need to vote
this
on it
is-
at our next meeting.
But this
fine.
it's
Okay.
following our standard schedule of first and third Thursdays of most months. I don't think we want to meet on January 1st, so our first scheduled meeting is going to be January 15th. We're going to do, Juneteenth is observed on the Friday this year, so we'll have 2 meetings in June, and then our regular 1 meeting in July, 1 meeting in August, 1 meeting in December, the first Thursday. But other than that, it kind of follows that regular schedule. So we will send that out to you all. If there's any planned vacations that you guys have that will kind of interfere with any of those dates, let us know, so that if there's a chance that more than 3 of you can't make a specific date,
Sure.
we'll remove it. But other than that, just kind of let us know and we'll vote on it at the next meeting.
February vacation will be.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard for me too.
Yeah, so we will,
I will be
Okay.
here February vacation.
okay, that's what we need to know. So that's, kind of
Likewise.
as much as you can input.
Yeah, I think let's
When is
let's ditch February vacation.
Is it
Okay.
It's the week of the 21st typically.
the week before?
It's President's Week. week of
February
President's Day.
19th.
Yeah.
is- And we have that noted as kind of already saying February vacation. We'll circle back on that one.
And the other comment is you have the Thursday before Labor Day. So Labor Day is the 7th, and you have September 3rd listed here. I don't know if people are more apt to go away.
I'm actually going away September the 3rd.
Okay.
What time's your flight?
I'm already. I don't know about the flight, but I know about the cruise.
Okay, well,
All right,
We can-
we'll all take a look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll come back.
all these comments are super helpful,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any unfinished business?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good evening, folks.
Thanks.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.